Everybody needs inspiration. Everybody needs a song. Something to raise them to higher, elevated places. Something to take them to another experience, another world.
Get your black
Life has really given me some special moments.
Everybody does.
And
That's the old
I know my life has purpose, divine purpose.
challenge me.
My will cannot be broken. I will succeed in life. I will surpass these demons. I will overcome my challenge. Take a deep breath. Exhale. They will come for you. They will come for your magic. They will come because your heart glows in the dark. Because you are familiar and not the same. Because you have love in your throat. They will come for
Get
you.
your black ass out of here.
Protect your magic. The oppressed outnumber the oppressors.
Surrender or be destroyed.
So put your dreams
Everybody
in
does.
your front pocket. Freedom is on. That's the only thing that's real. Protect
So
your
what
magic.
happens when stress doesn't stop?
Mere
Well, nearly 70% of us are feeling overwhelmed by our current levels of stress. As the devastating impact of stress escalates, it risks our mental and physical health. When stress has to stop, but the problem continues, what can you do? Well, as you guys know, there's many options out there. There's so many things that you can do, but how many of those things are effective enough to get you the results you're looking for? That's the true question. You can defend yourself against stress,
Doom does not quarrel with lesser men.
but how did stress evolve so much? Where did it come from? Let's talk about the evolution of stress for a moment. So we have a built-in fight, freeze, or flight mechanism response in our body. We respond to stress like this way. And these actions or these reactions to stress help promote safety above all else. This allows us to quickly respond to danger. The blood is diverted to the reactionary regions of the brain, not the contemplative ones. And we are pumped with these hormones to make us intensely alert. Well, the problem is that the stress response was only designed to be switched on temporarily while we dealt with the threat, and then switched off when we were safe again. See, our ancestors understood that the stress response could mean the difference between life and death. And they faced major threats, y'all, that genuinely endangered their lives. Modern threats today include the sensational media, pollution, inflammatory foods, and more minor issues like negative people, which aren't immediately life-threatening. But unfortunately, our stress response hasn't changed. The source of the stress has. All these minor irritations, which can include noise and smells, engage our stress response, but don't turn it off. Like a backlog in a printer, preventing anything from being printed. These semi-active stressors lurk in the background of the mind and body until you can't take it anymore and you snap or do something about it or wear out emotionally and physically. basically go insane. The world we inhabit is very different to the one our early ancestors lived in. The stress response evolved in times where life-threatening issues were just around the corner. Fast forward to 2022, and instead of gigantic cats and weird lizards and things like that, we have traffic jams and stressful jobs and alarming news media, which consistently keeps you under duress and stress, fear, worry, doubt, disbelief, all those negative things. But while these things pose no direct threat to our lives, repeated exposure to them triggers our stress response. Repeatedly exposing ourselves to the stress response is like driving at top speed with no time or energy to maintain our vehicle. Trauma from childhood, current relationships, and societal issues all count towards our allostatic load. It might seem like our job is the only main thing stressing us out, but in reality, you have a big bag of stress you've been collecting for decades, maybe even years. All those unresolved emotions, they do add up. And since the body only has two performance states, stressed or relaxed, and any excess stress will reduce the energy that can be dedicated to relaxed functions like digesting, healing, and weight loss. This is why stress increases the risk of all other diseases, like heart attacks, strokes, and many people much more likely to get depressed or anxious. Stress itself isn't the real issue. A lack of relaxation and no clear stop to the stress is the problem. We need to find ways to clearly communicate with our body and brain that things like the news headlines can be safely ignored. Oh. Imagine a car that never got repaired. How long would you expect it to last? Mental burnout occurs when the stress gets so severe the brain adapts to focus on fear, making it hard to feel positive about anything. Bottom line, don't get accustomed to stress. Learn how to turn it off.
Black ass out of here.
Switching off stress. If you want to prevent the damage being done by stress, all you need to do is turn it off.
I'm not real.
Imagine you have just watched a horror movie and it's bedtime.
Everybody dies.
How do you turn the anxiety off? Ideally, you would have enough time before bed to do something calming, like reading or listening or relaxing music, maybe a gentle stroll. But exercise is a fantastic way to stop stress. It mimics the running away from danger activity that the response evolved to support. Sex and orgasms provide another route to stopping stress. All those deep breaths and passionate action lets the body know that the stress has been resolved. The relaxing effect on your muscles and increase in oxygenation while reducing inflammation creates mental focus and calm. Take time to alleviate stress by meditating, spending time in nature, deep breathing, or partaking in any activity you enjoy. There are many ways you can override an outdated stress and actively choose how you will respond. Take note of how many stressful events you have already encountered today. How will you switch them all off?
You don't have to like me, but just remember that the version of me that you created in your mind is not my responsibility. The resurrection of doom. Take a deep breath. Come here, boy. Exhale. You are no match for doom.